It's time for Community Matters on Y101. Today's show is brought to you by these great sponsors: Appling Healthcare in Baxley, Vidalia Federal in Vidalia and Lyons, Johnson & Johnson Transport in Uvalde, and by Todd Paget Housing Center in Claxton. Now let's talk about what's happening in our community with your host, Tony Doc Wardlaw.
Good morning. Welcome to this edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, the Doc, Tony Wardlaw, and yes, once again, as you would have it, it is another beautiful Wednesday morning. I just think God loves the Community Matters show. You know, He gives us good weather every Wednesday morning here. We are blessed this morning to have you traveling with us, and we're especially blessed this morning to have in the studio with us the one and the only, the beautiful and the illustrious Miss Stephanie Williams. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
All right. A lot of people are so used to just seeing Stephanie, Miss Williams in the background of things, but this morning we're bringing you to the forefront to talk about the Toombs County Magazine.
I'm very glad to be here. I'm glad to be in the background sometimes.
Well, you know, this is Stephanie, for all of you who are listening. She's one of our hidden treasures, and we're blessed to have her, especially on Community Matters, because she does a project that really helps our community and brings out those special persons within our community, which is the Toombs County Magazine. So.
Yeah, the goal when we started with this project was to talk about people in the community and kind of get people to know their neighbors again. I felt like that was something that was missing. And, you know, we write stories sometimes and we have people respond with, well, I never knew that about my neighbor. I've known it for 30 years. I've known them, but I didn't know that, you know, their childhood was like, you know, that they did this and they've done some fascinating things. And to me, that's a very key aspect of living in a small community. Like, you think you know your neighbors, you think you know everybody, but there are really some fascinating things about people that they don't tell about themselves,
right,
that are amazing. Some amazing things they've done, places they've been, you know, that they're just too modest to share. And so we like to find those stories, and it's not always about, you know, the people's past or what they've done, but sometimes it's about current things they're doing that people just don't realize. Oh, that's really cool, you know. So,
and you really get down to, for lack of a better word this morning, you get down to the nitty gritty. I mean, you look behind the story. I mean, you really give the history. Yeah,
that's what we like to do, because that is how you find, like I said, people are very modest. They don't think, most of the time when we approach people and say, hey, somebody suggested we write a story about you, they say, there's nothing interesting about me. And those are the most interesting people.
Right.
Because they, you know, so we sit down and we really like to talk to them and find out, like, what have you done? You know, what are you doing now? What have you done? When we first started doing this magazine, I did have a panic moment, and I called my writer and I said, Terry, what if we run out of stories? Like, what happens? Do we just shut everything down? And she started laughing at me, and she said, there are, you know, 30,000 plus people in this community. You will never run out of stories. Everybody has a story. Yes. They may not think it themselves, but they all have a story.
I like that. Everybody has a story.
Yeah.
Wow. And we've got some pretty interesting characters here in our community. In a good way.
Yeah, we do, definitely.
And we get to, we're grateful because, I mean, we get to read it. I mean, just in your last edition, I'm just, you know, looking through the different stories, and I'm like, wow, this has been here in the community the whole while, and I never knew the history behind it. And so you dig all of that up?
Yes. We have lots of readers tell us, oh, we never throw one away. We keep it on our coffee table. We put it on our bookshelf, because it does, you know, we didn't plan it to be this way, but it does end up being kind of a testament of our community. And it's almost like a history annual.
It is.
it tells stories of things that are happening now, things that have happened in the past with different people in our community. So, yeah, I'm sure in 20 years you can read these and still,
Yeah.
see how our community was built and the people that built it.
And you know what I like about it, Stephanie, is it really expounds on something that I like about our show, is it tells of like seemingly ordinary people who do extraordinary things.
Right, yeah. It doesn't, I think people think you have to do something really big to be extraordinary. It doesn't take much to be extraordinary. It just takes, maybe be giving back to your community or just helping one person out in your community. That's extraordinary.
Yes.
I mean, just, it just doesn't take much. And people think, oh, I've got to be a really big community leader to be extraordinary, or I have to do something really like that would be on the news to be extraordinary, but you really don't. It happens in everyday lives all the time.
Look at her. I like it. So, Ms. Williams, why the Toombs County Magazine?
So I'm a graphic designer
Okay.
by trade. I've been doing that for over 35 years. A lot of people don't realize that I actually have been in publication and graphic design, publishing magazines around the Hilton Head area for over 25 years.
Oh, wow.
And one day, Jay Martin and Patty Martin, who are friends of mine, called me and they said they knew that I had experience in this area, and they said, we're thinking about doing this magazine. We want to focus on local community. And I said, this is a great idea. This is excellent. I think this is awesome. And they wanted to know if I would help them kind of formulate what it would look like and the format of it. And I said, yes, I really want to be on board with this, but I had just had my son. And I said, I can't commit full time, but I do want to help you develop it. So I helped them with the initial concept. I kind of helped them with what the look of it was supposed to be like. They would send me articles that their people had done, and I would give feedback on that and kind of acted as a consultant in the first few days or first few years. And then a few years after that, they called me and said, hey, we're moving on to another county and we want to kind of get rid of some things. So would you be interested?
We'll pass this on to you.
They essentially passed it on to me, and then I put my own input into it. Kind of made it what I thought. Living in Toombs County, what I thought would be best for the magazine and for our readers, and that this is the result of that.
This is the end product. This is the best.
Right. And there were times when I would, like I said, I have other work that I would think, do I need to be doing this right now? But I'm very passionate about telling the stories.
Excellent.
And connecting people in the community.
And we are grateful.
And that's what's definitely made me say, yes, this is what I need to be doing right now. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what you just told us about how this came into fruition and evolved, I mean, have you put that story in one of your... Well, I just gave you a new story. It should be your front page. So how long have you been...
I'm a behind-the-scenes person.
How long have you been doing it?
The magazine, I believe that I actually took over in 2009. No, maybe 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was in 2011.
So we've been getting these, and how often do you print?
We're twice a year. So we do an issue that covers spring, summer, and that comes out in the 1st of June. And then we do an issue that covers fall, winter.
Okay.
It comes out at the 1st of December.
All right.
Yep.
So the 1st of June and the 1st of
That's when
December, we can get all of
yes.
our... Have you begun to work on the one in December already?
We have. We usually take the full 6 months to work on it, and we're actually now working already on stories for spring too. So we work well in advance to kind of organize the stories, get started on them, and collect information. But we are working on ads right now. So we work on it pretty much year round. I usually have a month in between that I can kind of take off a little bit from it, but that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So how do you pick your interviewees?
So a couple of
On your
different ways. First of all, we just tell people, if you have an idea, send it to tombscountymagazine@gmail.com. My writer sometimes has ideas. I'm listening all the time. I have conversations with people all the time, and they tell, people are just like talking, oh, did you know that such and such? And I'm thinking the whole time that this is going to make a great story.
A good story.
So I'm always aware of that personally, but I can't be everywhere. So we do tell people, let us know. We gladly take submissions, and my ad salesperson too is also always on the listen out for possible story ideas when she's talking to different advertisers. So it's just basically talking to people in the community that,
So as you're
things
going
get back
about,
to us. Everyday life.
at the gas station,
Right.
at the coffee shop, you're like, need you in my magazine.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wonderful, wonderful. We're looking, as we look at the magazine and we look at the different stories, it tells a story about our community. And we live in a pretty good community.
Yeah, I think so. I do. I'm really proud of it. Yeah, we try to include stories, people of all different ages and backgrounds and cultures, and just to show the diversity that we have in the community. I love that we have so many female entrepreneurs. We have a lot of great male entrepreneurs, and there's just a good mix of people doing different things, and it's
if you take time to read it, ladies and gentlemen, if you take time to read the magazine, you will see people from all walks of life who are right here in our community, various ethnicities,
yes,
and doing, like I said, great things. And you capture those stories, and we appreciate that. We're going to take a break, and then after we come back, we want to talk about how one would, contact you, and then we want to also get to the number of publications that you do, and ask you some other personal questions right after these messages.
Perfect.
Work smarter, not harder. Here at Vidalia Federal, we are all about that phrase as we strive to make your life easier. No more drowning in paperwork or being interrogated over the idea of buying a house. Getting a home loan should be an enjoyable, simple process, not a daunting task. This is Julia McKenzie with Vidalia Federal Savings Bank, and I am here to make the mortgage process easy and simple. Come see me at the Vidalia branch on Jackson Street to talk about your next home purchase or refinance. I look forward to serving you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Johnson & Johnson Transport in Uvalde, we're here to serve our community by providing all your transport needs. We offer non-emergent, non-medical transport by stretchers, wheelchairs, and ambulatory vehicles. We can transport to medical offices, dental facilities, vision, pharmacies, family events, and now we can transport your pets to the vet. We offer private pay, so for a ride above the rest, call Johnson & Johnson Transport in Uvalde at 912-594-1812.
Woo-wee. We don't need a calendar to tell us that summer is here. Just go outside and you'll know it's getting hot, hot, hot. This is Anthony J. with Todd Patchett Housing Center, and we're inviting you to beat the heat in one of our beautiful homes from Cavalier, Clayton, Deer Valley, Live Oak, Scott Build, or Southern Energy Homes. We build all of our homes a lot more energy efficient than they would have normally come. So stop by Todd Patchett Housing Center in Claxton, Georgia, and pick out your energy savings dream home from our massive selection. Todd Patchett Housing Center, all your housing solutions under one roof.
The picture of health, the picture of health.
Would you like to improve your energy? How about getting better sleep? It can start with a simple test. Find out how you can start feeling better with bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Schedule an appointment with Matt Hodges, family nurse practitioner, Appling Healthcare certified biotech provider. The biotech method of pellet therapy can improve your energy, sleep, weight, and libido. Call 912-367-4122 and start feeling better today.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Community Matters. I'm your host, The Doc, and we are again happy to have you traveling with us this morning for this edition of Community Matters. We have been interviewing the illustrious Miss Stephanie Williams with the Toombs County Magazine, and we're having a good time here. This is your first radio interview.
Yes.
but we can't tell.
Good.
You're-
And I am pulling it off well.
You are a natural.
Well, maybe I'll come take your job then.
Wow. She
kidding.
jumped right on it.
I'm just
No,
kidding.
that's good stuff. So we're talking about the Toombs County Magazine, and these come out twice a year.
Twice a year. Mhm.
June 1st, we can find these. Now, where can we find them?
So we have magazine stands set up around Toombs County in the, I'm scared if I start naming, I'll forget
Okay.
somebody.
So
But
just throughout.
throughout in pharmacies, all the way from Phillips Pharmacy to Walker Pharmacy, every
Okay.
places in between, Chapman's, places in between. We have them at lots of restaurants, Rio and, or Velarte's and Papa Buck's, and just some of the different restaurants have them. We've got them at the Wellness Center.
Okay. So now, if a company wanted to have these magazines at their location,
Yeah, they just let me know.
They would just
Yeah.
email you at Toombs County.
Email me at tombscountymagazine@gmail.com.
Okay.
I'll be happy to bring a standby and place one in their office or location or restaurant, whatever it is. We also put them out in doctors' offices, lobbies,
Yeah.
where people tend to sit. We had a little problem with COVID. A lot of people said, "Oh, we don't need magazines in here right now because we don't need the possible transmission." But they've opened back up to letting us do that again. We obviously can't put as many in a doctor's office as we can in a stand, so we put some stacks in there, and they go really quickly.
Right.
We will refill those, but it's just hard to stay on top of that because you can put 20 magazines out, and by the end of the day, they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah, the magazines racks hold a lot more. So we encourage people to look for those. You can also get them at the chamber and
Excellent.
at the Main Street offices in Lines of Vidalia.
That's good. So how many of these editions do you print up each time?
Right now, we're printing 9,000.
Okay.
We are looking at going up to 10 with this next issue because the last few issues have disappeared rather quickly. I think with the magazine racks, people are picking them up. They're discovering, okay, this is where I can go and definitely get one.
Right.
And so they are returning to the same places every time to get them. And so they're flying off the shelves more frequently, and so we will look at increasing that amount.
So the next printout will come out in December.
In December.
And so you got to get there fast to get yours.
Yeah, and we hold enough back so that we can kind of fill those stands throughout the a 5-month time period before the next one comes out. So we kind of space that out. So it's usually you're able to pick one up even 3 months after the issue came out.
Now, what is the criteria for a person being in the magazine?
The criteria, we like for them to be connected to Toombs County somehow. So either they grew up here, maybe they don't live here anymore, but they grew up here.
Okay.
They have roots here. or they live here now. Toombs and Montgomery County. We include Montgomery in our publication.
Absolutely.
Because they're part of the chamber as well. We've done stories on people that maybe actually live in Reedsville, but they've worked in Toombs County and they've got connections here. So it just
Gotta have a Toombs
just
County
some kind of
connection.
connection. Yeah,
Got it.
right. We like to keep it local, and so as long as you have some kind of connection, then we want to write about you.
That's excellent. So, what's the cost? If I
The
wanted to
cost
get
of the
one
magazine is free.
Really?
When you pick it up, you can just pick it up free.
Wow,
If
we like free.
Yeah, free is great. It's paid for by our advertisers. So we do like to say, you pick it up, make sure you look at the advertisers. And, I had a woman tell me one time, well, I just kind of use this as a phone book because I can't find a phone book anymore. So if I needed a doctor, I look through and see who your doctors are. If I need a dentist, or if I needed, it's a great source for knowing what business services are offered in this area as well, what businesses are available. And the advertising is what pays for the magazine for the public to have. So the only thing we do charge for is if you decide to have a subscription, we do charge the cost of mailing it, which
Okay.
is pretty high right now. So
Excellent.
we recommend that you just go out and find one.
All right. Well, Miss Stephanie Williams, what is it like to be married to a former senator?
Okay. See, I knew you had that question. That was the surprise
It was in the
question.
chamber, I'm telling you.
You know, Tommy is what I've always called a Renaissance man. He does a little bit of everything. He
Oh.
is very creative, and his mind is always churning on what's the next thing we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, that's kind of how I got roped in to go into Italy, but to live. But the politics was great. It was where he needed to be when we were doing that.
Okay.
I don't particularly enjoy the political scene, especially nowadays, but he was in the right place doing the right thing,
Right.
and being very effective at it. And
Absolutely.
and I don't know that we enjoyed it, but we enjoyed helping people
There you go.
and helping the state of Georgia, and he was very successful at that, and I was very proud of him for that. When the
Wonderful.
time came for him to get out, we, for many, every time an election would come up for a couple of years before he resigned or retired, we would pray about whether are we supposed to run again. And every time I would say, because he kept thinking, there are other things that I want to do. I don't want to do this my whole life, and politics is not really supposed to be a career thing.
Okay.
I don't agree with that.
Excellent.
So we would pray about it, and he would come back and he would say, I just don't have peace about leaving yet. And I would say, I don't either. I mean, we were always in alignment.
That's
and
good.
one day he came, that last time, he said, I think this is it. And I said,
Wow.
I prayed about it last night, and this is it.
Wow.
And we were both in alignment about it. And so it was it was time to move on. And that was just, God
was
said it was time.
right
It's time.
timing.
You did your job, what I sent you there to do, and now it's time to move on. And that's what we did. And so
Good.
because we just kind of followed his timing, we have no regrets about leaving or anything like that. So
And it gives you time to do your work for the rest of us who look forward to the Toombs County Magazine, and it also gives you a little time to work on the and be with the new grandbaby.
yes, I have a new grandbaby. He's wonderful, so sweet, and just I'm having a great time. We both are, and really enjoying having him
Excellent.
around. He's just a light.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Stephanie, we really do appreciate you. Now, you have a website.
I do, TombsCountyMagazine.com.
Okay, TombsCountyMagazine.com, and can we go there to see the archives of
Yes, you
previous
can.
issues?
Yes, we archive each issue, so you can go online. You can see in stories, read the stories online
wow.
through the archive issues or the current issue. So
Oh my!
yeah, we
Okay.
actually have a flip book on there, so it's like you're flipping through the magazine itself.
Fabulous!
So, yeah.
Wow! So we're doing big things in our community.
Yeah, and you can submit a story through the website as well. It goes back to Toombs County Magazine at Gmail. So
Well, you already know you got one story coming from me.
yeah.
And I mean, it is a big story. The one and the only, the illustrious Dave Allen. Listen, this has been a wonderful, wonderful show this morning. We thank you for stopping by and sharing with us.
Thank you for
I
having
mean,
me.
we see your work all the time, and it's just good to be able to hear the voice behind it all. And thank you for letting us be your first radio interview.
Yeah, it was fun. I
Yes.
appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Stephanie, for being with us. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, The Doc. As always, we thank you, Ms. Dorothy Davis, who always handles our website and our media. Please visit our website at tcbbroadcasting.com, and you can see this show again and again, listen to it, and it's archived as well. We always thank our producer, the one and the only Dave Allen, who will be on the front cover of Toombs County Magazine next time. But thank you, one and all. Come back again on next week. We'll do this again. Thank God for our beautiful community. Be blessed, everybody. Good day.
You've been listening to Community Matters, a service of TCV Broadcasting. Today's show was brought to you by Todd Padgett Housing Center in Claxton, Johnson & Johnson Transport in Uvalde, Vidalia Federal in Vidalia and Lyons, and by Appling Healthcare in Baxley. Tune in next week at 8:15 during Y101's live morning show for another special guest. We'll talk about what's happening right here in our hometown. Community Matters is a service of TCV Broadcasting on Country Legends Y101.